Welcome to Ryan Talks Physical Media and Tech, and today I want to share my experience in ditching Sky Q after being a customer for about 10 years and replacing it completely with Apple TV and an app called TV Launcher. As always, if you are new here and you love all things physical media and tech, please do hit that subscribe button, give this video a like and join me down in the comments. So as I mentioned, I've been a Sky customer for well over 10 years. I also had Sky growing up as a child. I used to love it. It used to be stuck with just channel 1, 2, 3 and 4 here in the UK. But when we had Sky growing up, you could watch The Simpsons on Sky One. You had loads and loads of channels, loads of things on. But recently, I find myself very rarely watching anything on Sky or even using it. I use my Apple TV mainly for all my streaming services, so Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, and all of these things. And I've also noticed that my Sky bill has been steadily creeping up, and I've thought to myself, well, what am I actually paying for? Can I get rid of it and still be, okay, I like to watch live TV still. Can I still do that? And in this video, I want to talk through my experience in cancelling Sky. Now, I still have an active Sky subscription. I've given the notice to cancel it. But over the last month, I've sort of exclusively stopped using it and just used an alternative. Now, I've recently come to the end of my 24-month subscription with Sky, and any deals that I had to lower the price are just starting to come off. And it's made me realise how expensive Sky actually is. Even when I've gone through to the retentions department and try and get a deal, it's still around £50 a month. And just looking at my bill here, what I actually get for that, I get Sky Signature, which I believe is, the selection of Sky channels, your Sky Atlantic, etc. I get Sky Kids. Yes, I don't need Sky Kids anymore, so I could remove that. I also, which to me in 2025 is a crazy thing to be paying for, you have to pay for Sky HD. I know there are subscription services, but even on the most basic Netflix subscription, you can get high definition, and it really grates me that Sky still charge for high definition. I also pay for Ultra HD. Again, I do not need to pay for this. I rarely watch Sky original shows. I think Last of Us and House of Dragon are the two shows that I've watched in Ultra HD. The reason I have it on this package is because it came with Netflix Premium, which you had to have the Ultra HD to get the Ultra HD Netflix. And again, as a physical media and tech fan, I want to get the best quality, but they are things that I don't need. So if I took those off, my bill would probably still be around £35 to £40 a month. And I thought to myself, do I need to be paying that? As I mentioned, use Apple TV all the time. It is what I use exclusively for all my streaming apps. And I have a full review on Apple TV up here, or here, wherever it is, up here, that I will link that you can watch. But if you're not familiar with Apple TV, it's Apple's kind of little box that you can install lots of apps on, all the streaming apps. And I know a lot of TVs have the streaming apps built in, but as I discussed in my video, I find the Apple TV to do a better job. Now, when I made the decision to go exclusively to Apple TV, one thing I did want the ability to still be able to do is to be able to kind of flick through TV channels. Because Apple TV is great and you've got all your apps, you've got the BBC iPlayer app, you can go in and watch something on BBC, you've got the ITV app, you can go in and watch that, you've got loads of different other apps, but I wanted the ability to actually still be able to flick through, and that's one of the things that I thought, this might keep me stuck with Sky, until I found an app called TV Launcher, which you can get from the Apple App Store. It's not free, I think it's about £6, £5 or £6 here in the UK, one-time purchase, it's not a subscription. And I'm going to load it up now and just show you what it does and talk you through it, because I think it may be the solution that I'm looking for. And as I say, I've been using it exclusively for about a month now and been really happy with it. So here we are on Apple TV. You can see I've got all my apps here installed. As mentioned before, I have a full review on Apple TV. I will put a link down in the subscription as well. You can see I've got the iPlayer app installed. I've got ITV app. I've got all my streaming apps as well. But the app that we want to talk about here is TV Launcher, because yes, I can, get all the apps that I want on here and have the ability to watch them and find my on-demand shows. But as I mentioned, I still wanted the ability to have kind of a TV guide and be able to flick through what's on TV. So if I load up TV Launcher, I was currently on it. Let me go back to what you first have when it opens. This is the home page of TV Launcher. I'm actually going to start with the TV guide. So at the top you can see Watch Now TV Guide, Now and Next. I'm just going to go straight across to TV Guide. We're going to start there and we'll come back to Watch Now in a second. And as you can see, it looks like a TV guide that you would get on any kind of normal Freeview or Sky Q, which I'm used to. You can see here we've got the channels on the left, and we've got what was previously on, what is currently on, and what is on. We can scroll through the rest of the evening to see what's on. And as you can see, I can scroll through, and there is loads of channels. We have all the Freeview channels, but as I scroll down, you will also notice I have Sky Showcase, Sky Atlantic, Sky Max, Sky Documentaries, Sky History, Sky Arts, etc., MTV. And I'm going to come to that in a second on how that all works. But I'm going to start at the top with BBC. So let's say, for example, I wanted to watch something that's currently on BBC One. So currently on BBC One is the news. I can select that. It shows me here on the bar how far in it is, and I've got the ability to watch live. So if I click watch live, what will happen is it will load the BBC iPlayer app that I have installed. Now, one tiny bugbear with this, and this only happens with iPlayer, is it always asks you to select who's watching, which is a little bit annoying. There's only one user, so I have to always select myself. And then what will happen is it will load the live stream that is currently on BBC. With BBC as well, with BBC iPlayer, you can pause, which is great. And you can also rewind. Now, I don't know if this works with all shows on BBC, but from my testing, it seems to work on everything that I have tested. And you can pause, you can skip through, which is brilliant. It's particularly if you want to watch, you want to just flick through. Now, if I want to go back to the app, on the Apple TV, if you weren't aware, the home button here, if you double tap the home button, it will load up your apps, and you can just quickly go back to the TV Launcher app, and then we're back here. Again, with ITV, I click an ITV show, click watch live, and it will take me straight to the ITVX app. It will load it up, and it will start that live stream. Now, what I have noticed with ITV, you cannot pause. So I'm trying to pause here, and I'm trying to rewind, and I don't have the ability to do that. So it seems to be dependent on the particular app. So it seems to work with BBC, but it doesn't work with ITV. What sometimes happens as well, as if I go back to the TV Launcher app here, you can often, if it's something that is also on demand, so if I come over to watch live here, it will often, I think Channel 4 does it, it will ask, do you want to watch from the start or watch live? So if it is a show that actually I've missed the beginning of, I can watch from the start. Again, this doesn't happen, as you've seen, with all the different apps. I think it's just depending on if the channel supports it, but Channel 4 seem to allow you to watch from the start. It's just ITV that doesn't seem to let you rewind. But it has come up before saying watch from the start, so I think it's very much dependent on the channel. Now, I mentioned just a minute ago that we've also got access to like all the Sky channels here. Now, obviously Sky isn't free, and I was talking about saving money, and you may be aware of Now TV. Now, Now TV is available here in the UK, and it's kind of allows you to subscribe to a number of Sky channels, and there's lots of different packages, but you can subscribe to them on a monthly basis, so you're not tied into like a 2-year contract. Now, I don't have Now TV because, as I mentioned, there's very little I watch on Sky. But let's say, for example, I did want to watch House of Dragon or The Last of Us that's on Sky Atlantic. I could get the Now TV app and access them on demand there, or if I want to use the TV Launcher app and see what was on and watch it live, I could go onto here. So there's billions on, and I bet if I click it now, it's going to say that my app's not installed. You'll need to install Now TV and subscribe to it. Just again, looking back at this app, that's obviously the TV guide, which works really well. You can change the setting there. You can change the date, so you can see what's on different days, which again is brilliant. We've got our Watch Now page, which shows all you can customize these. It shows what's on with a little thumbnail, and again you've got the little bar there showing how long it's been on. And we've got Now and Next, which again is just a more simplified version of the TV guide. You've also got a search bar, and you can go in and play around with the settings. I haven't really done much in here but you can change what channels you can and can't see. So for example, if you know you're never going to watch Channel 5 or any of the 5 apps, you can turn them off. One other thing is here as well, if you move the TV launcher on Apple TV to your top bar here, what does happen, give it a second, it will have it will pop up at the top your most recently viewed channels, and usually it loads like a little thumbnail that you can go through and flick them as well. But I have mine down here because I have different apps on the top. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I have been using TV Launcher exclusively for about a month now and trying not to pick up my Sky Q. And overall, I have been really happy with it. There are a few small things that I miss, or a few little niggly things that I just wanted to mention. First off is the ability to record. Now, I know a lot of people don't record with their Skybox, but on Sky Q, I do often set things to record or pause things at the start of a show, go and make a drink or go make some dinner so I can fast forward the adverts and stuff. So if, for example, if you're watching a show on Channel 4, if you pause it on Sky Q, you can fast forward the adverts if you give it 20 minutes or so. With the TV launcher, obviously you're relying on the Channel 4 app, which again has adverts in there. They do offer subscriptions to remove the ads, so do ITV, so the ITVX app. If you often watch ITV, you can pay to get rid of those apps. So you'd have to weigh up whether that was worth it to you. So that is one niggly thing that I have noticed. Also, obviously, it's never going to be, it's not yet anyway as streamlined as Sky Q. In Sky Q, you just flip through, click it, and the channel instantly starts. Obviously, with the TV launcher, it's actually loading the app. So you have to have the app installed, and there is like a few seconds for the app to load. The Apple TV is super responsive and super quick. I don't know what other set-top boxes, how it works, or if there's alternatives, but I'm just speaking on the Apple TV here. One other thing, and particularly if you're a sports fan, this might be an issue, is there is a slight delay with although it says it's live TV, the actual stream is sometimes 5 or 10 seconds behind. So that might be an issue if you're watching, like live football and you've got a group chat going on and you don't want a goal ruined because you're 10 seconds behind. So overall, I've been happy switching from Sky Q to TV Launcher, and I don't really have any regrets apart from those few little niggles that I mentioned. My Sky Q was costing me about £50 a month. Yes, I could have removed a couple of things, but I'm paying for Netflix, I'm paying for Disney Plus. We pay for these streaming services, but now switching completely over to Apple TV, I can use the TV launcher to still see what's on TV and flick through channels. If I want to watch something on Sky, I can get a Now TV subscription for a month. If I don't want to watch Netflix for a few months, I can easily cancel that. Then I'm not tied into anything now with my TV, which is actually quite nice, and I've been super happy with it. But please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Have you recently ditched Sky for an alternative? Has it been Apple TV? Has it been Now TV or EE Have you used the TV Launcher app? Do let me know. I will join you down in the comments if you've got any questions. And as always, thank you for watching.